Hey everyone, welcome to the channel, or welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be installing the Garmin Mini 2 in my 4th gen Toyota Tacoma. And just so you guys know, I had the Garmin Mini 2 on my 3rd gen Toyota Tacoma, and I liked it so much that I want to install it here on my 4th gen. Alright, this install is super easy. It's all plug and play. What you're going to need is the Garmin Mini 2 Dashcam. You're going to need the Dongar Technologies power adapter, and you're going to need a micro SD card. So like I mentioned before, I had the same dash cam on my 3rd gen Toyota Tacoma and I really liked it, and I want to do the same thing here on my 4th gen Tacoma. And I thought I was going to be able to use the same Dongar power adapter that I had in my 3rd gen, but that is not the case. I needed the 10 pin. So if you have a 4th gen Toyota Tacoma, you need the 10 pin power adapter if you have the power rear view mirror. This is going to run you about 40 bucks. You can pick up the Garmin Mini 2 on Amazon. I have all the links down in the description if you want to get the same setup that I have. This runs anywhere from 130 all the way down to 110. I've seen it on sale sometimes, so be sure to check that out. This is a great dash cam. The other thing you're going to need is a micro SD card. These are pretty inexpensive. This is a 32 gigabyte one, and it's been plenty of storage space for me. You can pick these up anywhere from $25 to $100 depending on the storage size. So, all right, so here is a look at the camera. It's really small, which is why I like it. And just for comparison purposes, you can see it's about the size of an Apple Watch, a little bit bigger, but that's why I really like this, is because it's super small. All right, before I get into the install, I want to mention that this camera has a function called parking guard. And what that does is if you're parked and it senses movement, it will start to record. Now, I'm not going to do that in this install. That takes additional wiring, which you're going to have to, run down the side and everything. And I'm not really interested in doing that, but it does have that capability if that's something you want to do. All right, first thing you're going to want to do is take your camera, get your micro SD card, go ahead and plug it in there like that. And then it comes with this little ball joint with a sticky backing. This is what you're going to use to connect the camera to the actual windshield here. So this part will go on the windshield, and then it gives you a little bit of movement that you can adjust the camera. Here's just a quick look at the digital camera that I have on the TRD off-road model here. And it's a little bit different in terms of up here versus the 3rd gen. This is much wider here. In the 3rd gen, it wasn't so wide, and I was able to kind of tuck the camera up under here out of the way. However, I don't think that's going to be able to be the case here. I think I'm going to be able to see it, but let's get into the install. Okay, first thing you're going to want to do is pull this down, and then right here there's a little section that should just pull down. There we go. And then from here, this whole piece should just slide down. Next, you're going to want to grab your Dongar power adapter. And inside here, this is the wiring adapter. They give you a pry tool. You won't really need that. And then there's different USB connections. So then you're just going to want to find the one you need, which I think is this one. And then we'll plug that in. You can just set this aside for now. Now you can pull out the power adapter. And I want to mention here, this is where you'll plug the USB in here. This has a 3M adhesive tape, which we're going to put on the outside here. Okay, and then what you're going to do is you're going to disconnect here. This is the 10 pin connector right here. Then what you're going to want to do is grab the female end here and plug it in like that. Then you're going to take the male end and you're going to plug it back into the female end. Okay, should look something like that. Now we just need to find a place for this. So this is going to sit outside of the cover here. You could put it over here on this side, or you could put it here on this side. And I think what I'm gonna do is put it on this side. That way the camera will be over here on my side, and if I need to push any buttons or anything, I can control it from over here versus being over here. So what I'm gonna do now is remove this backing here, and I'm gonna place it right there. So here's a closer look at it. You can see the tape there. It's holding on nicely so far. You want to make sure that you give yourself enough room for this piece because the cover is going to go on here. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the cover back on. Then next up, you're just going to plug this USB in, and now you're going to want to figure out where you're going to want to mount it. So I'm going to put my rear view mirror back to where I like it. So this is my typical position here, and I just need to figure out where I'm going to mount this at. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount it just like this, so that this wire kind of gets tucked up underneath here and then doesn't really obstruct any more of my visibility. So to do that, I'm just going to remove this plastic piece here, and then I'm going to stick it on right there. All right, so here's a look at it. I did actually drop it down a little bit because I didn't want this piece to obstruct the camera view. So I think I got it in a good position. All right, so here's a look at it from the outside. Okay, and here's the point of view. If you're sitting as the passenger, can't see the camera at all, which is awesome. All right, and last thing you're gonna wanna do is just put this piece back on right here. All right, now what we're gonna do is fire it up and make sure we got power. There we go, we got power. All right, so now we're gonna go for a drive. I'm gonna show you some of the footage and talk about some of the features of this camera. I'm not gonna go into the setup because it's super easy to do, guys. Just download the app, follow the instructions, and it connects automatically. So I don't think it's necessary to show that in this video, but I do wanna show you some of the footage and talk about some of the features. Here is some footage from the camera so you can check out the video quality. It records in 1080p resolution. You could bump it down to 720p if you wanted to, but I would recommend keeping it at 1080p. Now, this isn't the highest resolution. There are other options for 4K resolution. It seems like that's becoming the standard, but 1080p definitely gets the job done here, and I'm happy with the video quality. Another great feature is the wide 140-degree lens. So this is going to give you a wide field of view. And as you can clearly see each corner of the hood and even see a little bit off to the side there. So it's going to capture everything in front of you, which I really like. So on the outside of the camera, there's really two buttons. There's one here for the microphone, and there's one here, which is the power button, and it does several other features as well. So the microphone button here is whether or not you want to record audio. So if the light is on, that means you're recording audio. If it's off, you're not. All you're going to get is just the video. And this button here, this is the main button here. This is how you would turn it on, off. And if you just push it one time, you're going to record a 30-second clip. Another great feature is the voice activation. So you can just speak to it and it'll do commands. Okay, Garmin, save video. And there's several other commands you can give it, which is really nice to be hands-free. So in terms of placement, I'm actually really happy with the way it turned out. It's not completely hidden in terms of my point of view, but if you're a passenger, you can't see it. But I like that I'm able to see the lights and I'm able to push the buttons, and I think it's tucked up nicely there. There's nothing really super distracting, so I'm really happy with the way that turned out. And frankly, it doesn't really matter what camera you're gonna get. It's not gonna be 100% hidden. There's just not a lot of real estate up there. around this camera. And I think this one is so small that it really just is the best fit. Here's a comparison in video quality. Up top, we have the Garmin Mini 2 Dashcam recording in 1080p, 30 frames per second, and below I have my iPhone 15 Pro recording in 4K and 60 frames per second. And obviously the iPhone's going to record a little bit better, but overall I'm really happy with the quality of the Garmin. So another feature I really like is if it gets bumped, it senses any kind of G-force, it will automatically record. So you can see I hit that pretty hard, but in reality you don't need to hit it that hard. Even sometimes if I hit a bump really hard, it'll sense the G-forces and it'll record the video. So that's a really nice feature. Okay, so I do want to show you a couple features within the app. This is what it looks like when you open it up. You have save video. So right there you can just see I push the button and it saves video. You can do live view. So if you press that, it's going to ask me to join the Wi-Fi connection. There you go. You have a live view, and if I wanted to, I could, adjust the camera just to get it right where I wanted it. So that's a nice feature. You can do review video. So this is going to show you all the videos that you have recorded and saved. And then you can do audio recording on or off. So I can do it there. And you can view all of your footage within the app. You can download it, which is super helpful. Okay, and then if you want to go into the settings in here, I'll show you some of the different settings in here. So data overlay, this is going to show the date and time. Exposure values, so you can mess with the exposure if you want something lighter or darker. You can choose your resolution. So like I said, this is 1080p. You could go down to 720p, but I don't know why you'd want to. For unsaved videos, you can delete when they're full, or you can prompt to delete. So you can say, I don't want it to delete everything. You can do the setup. Safety and security, this is the parking guard. So system, you can do volume on or off. So if you don't like the beeping, you can turn that off here. I'm actually going to turn mine off. Language, units and time, you can change all that. Wake word, so you can either do OK Garmin or OK Dashcam. I'm just going to leave it at Garmin. About the device, updates, you can format the SD card. So that's just a quick overview of the app. I'm really happy with it. I've had no issues in terms of connectivity, and it saves all the videos there. It's super convenient, and I have access to all my videos, so no complaints from me. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully this video was informational for you. Like I said, I had this dash cam on my 3rd gen Toyota Tacoma, and it's just been super reliable. It's done everything that I wanted it to do, and so I decided to transfer it over to my 4th gen, and I expect to have no issues with it. Just to recap some of the things I really like about it, it's super reliable, it's fairly inexpensive, and it's really small. Those are the 3 things that just really stand out to me. I know that Garmin is a good brand. There's tons of other dash cams out there, all different brands, but I knew Garmin was going to be a good brand. I knew this is one of the top dash cams out there that can fit multiple vehicles, not just the Tacoma. Please consider subscribing, guys. It helps keep me motivated to continue to bring you good content, and we'll catch you in the next video. Thanks.